So, what is the first and foremost thing that comes in your mind when you talk about personal branding on LinkedIn? Personal branding is LinkedIn headshot. LinkedIn headshot is one of the primary things. How can we do personal branding other than LinkedIn headshot? But LinkedIn headshot is a half-in picture that goes on your LinkedIn profile. We see anyone's LinkedIn profile. I'll talk about heat map. Heat map is basically which part of the page is viewed most when a page is turned on. So, for example, if we look at this LinkedIn profile, ideally at the research of LinkedIn, it says that 30% of the heat map goes to the picture, which means this is the first place where someone sees a profile and then goes to the banner, which is 20%, and then 15%. So if you see 65%, a major part of our profile. Hi, my name is Vasundhara and I'm a photographer. I started this journey a few years ago with working on cruise ship. I used to work as a portrait photographer. But before working on cruise ship, I was actually working as an HR. Well, you could say I keep switching my jobs. Well, that was a call from my heart. I thought, this is it. I have to do this. So that's how my journey started as a photographer. Working on cruise ship gave me a lot of exposure, how to interact with people from different cultures, different age, different backgrounds, and that helped me be more confident and flexible about working with people, no matter from what background they come from. And my HR background really helped me to interact with people at a professional level. So that was one big thing for me that really helped me go through. What I think about portrait photography is it's not just the role of a camera or lights. You know, natural light can come and you can take pictures in natural light. You can take pictures in portrait lights. But what portrait is all about is the person who's being photographed and also the person who's seeing the picture. So there are two people who are involved, actually three. The first person that is involved is the person who's taking the picture. The second person is the person who's getting the picture. And the third person is who is viewing the picture. And these three people are the most important part if we consider a photography perspective. Now, the person who is having their picture taken, it is very important for them to understand what they want to portray. I can really look sad. I can look serious. I can say I'm trying to smile. Or I'm trying to be engaging. I'm trying to be vocal. I want myself to be listened. I want myself to be perceived how I am. And this is very important. So this is what I pay attention when I take my portraits and headshots. For me, it's very important that what client want to portray is portrayed justifiably for them. That's the key thing. And for that, we play light music, you know, make a lot of conversation, engage with them. Whenever I sit in front of the camera or whoever sits in front of the camera, if you're not used to it, we're not models, we're like normal people who are good at our work, but facing the camera is one thing that we are not good at, most of us. And that is where the fear comes from. How am I looking? Is it going to give you the right picture? Or mostly you're so engrossed in your own work that, oh my God, I have a deadline. What should I do about it? How am I going to deal with it? When can I finish it? So all of these things goes in your mind, and then the picture doesn't justify. So for me, it's very important that when I'm taking your picture, I bring you back to where I am with me. You know, when I'm taking your picture, I would like to make sure that we are focused on what you want. So say if I'm asking you a question, you are bound to respond. And when you respond, that is the engaging conversation that you want. And that engagement is about you. And you are very sincere and sensible about it. So you'll be very cautious. At the same time, you will be portraying a genuine thought of you. And that is where I take your picture. That is what helps me bring the authenticity of my clients. So that's all about it. If you want to know, why don't you just give it a try? I'm ready for you. How about you?
So let's welcome the person who is on her creative journey. And right with us, we have Basundra. So, Basundra, as the video spoke a lot about you, but we would want to hear from you as well. So, the stage is all yours. Over to you.
Hello, everybody. It's good to be back again at the CGM event. As I mentioned, I had a career of human resource. My father wanted me to be an engineer, so I was one of the idiots who became an engineer who had no vision, but just to do because my father wanted me to do. But then I was a black sheep of the house as well. I didn't pursue that further. I did complete my degree, but then I moved to human resource. And then eventually, when I did human resource, I fell for photography, and that took me around the world when I started working on cruise ship. And that is where uh, that has made me who I am. I cannot explain how much I've learned from working on the ship, because you get to meet people from different cultures and countries. They all speak different English, and the way we judge each other, that, oh my God, her English is so bad. They speak so different English, and their grammar is here and there, but they are so confident. So I think that's one thing I learned from there, that you don't have to speak good English. You have to convey it correctly. You need to be confident about what you are saying. When you feel confident about what you're saying, then it doesn't matter if a grammar is here or there. So that's what I learned from there. I think that's enough for my introduction. Let's talk about brand. I think what brand is, again, it is mentioned over here, the name or symbol that identifies a product. Can you think of a brand? I can think of you. All these are the names of the brand that defines a particular product. People in our time, people didn't used to say toothpaste; they would say Colgate. So that's what a brand is. It is such a strong image that the product itself gets identified by the name of the brand. Now, what do you think is a personal brand? I think personal brand is when we become the brand for a specific skill that we are trying to sell. It's basically selling. We are all selling our skills so that we get on top of everything. Yeah, Lata Mangeshkar, there you go. Yes. So yeah, that's what I think personal brand is. So it's very important for us that if we want to be identified in a crowd, maybe there are 5 people competing with same sort of skills. Where do we stand out? Then I think personal branding is where we can stand out. When the list comes, then probably I could be on the top of the list because I'm on top of my personal branding. So that is what I'm going to talk about today. Virat Kohli, Masaba, all right. I have a very interactive audience today. It's gonna be great fun. So I'm gonna move on again to the next. Personal branding on LinkedIn. There are several ways of doing personal branding. Today I'm going to mainly address on LinkedIn because that is the primary platform where I specialize. I also work with my clients working on other sort of branding, but then I'll come to it later. I'm going to talk about personal branding on LinkedIn. So, what is the first and foremost thing that comes in your mind when you talk about personal branding on LinkedIn? Personal branding is LinkedIn headshot. LinkedIn headshot is one of the primary things. How can we do personal branding other than LinkedIn headshot? The LinkedIn headshot is a half-inch picture that goes on your LinkedIn profile, which people can notice if it is good, which is outstanding. If you do not have a good picture, you may be in the crowd, may not be noticed. So I think it's very important to have a good headshot. Moving on, what else can we do apart from headshot? Because if someone sees your profile only, then they will see their headshot. How can we be more present on LinkedIn so that people can identify me as my skill? So here are some of the ways we can do. We can write posts and include our pictures. How I normally suggest is, if you are very regular, contributions, very good. Comments. Yes, comments is another way of doing it. Contributions. Sharing others' posts is another way of doing it. But here what I'm focusing is on using your own picture, because today it's all about photos. So if I say, if you're posting regularly 7 days a week, then at least once a week to post your picture would be a good way of branding yourself. If you are posting 3 days a week, then probably once in 2 weeks is a good way of doing it. Other than that, you can do once a month. Moving on, there's another way, using something like a quote, using it smartly by using a picture and putting the information that you want to convey, marketing yourself in different ways, events. These are different ways how you can do LinkedIn branding. Now, coming to LinkedIn profile specifically, when we work on LinkedIn profile, what we should be, why should we primarily focus on headshot is what I'm going to talk about. When we see anyone's LinkedIn profile, I'll talk about heat map. Heat map is basically which part of the page is viewed most when a page is turned on. So for example, if we look at this LinkedIn profile, ideally at the research of LinkedIn, it says that 30% of the heat map goes to the page, which means this is the first place where someone sees a profile and then goes to the banner, which is 20%, and then 15%. So if you see 65%, a major part of our profile, the moment a page is open, goes here. So this is a very important part which plays a role in your branding. The second thing we can do is, a lot of people use it in different ways. So I'm going to show you different ways how you can use LinkedIn profile. One of them is this is very simple: your brand, your photo, and your name, and what it is about. Then we come to something like this. Neha is into coaching, so her picture is commendable. Her profile detail is completely over here, and then mentioning about your skill that you are trying to talk about. Another example, in this case, Jasmine has matched her brand color in her dress so that it gets a little synchronized, cohesive. Another example, very simple but effective. You can be very creative on doing these. Another way, selling your product. Uncle Varuk is already famous. What does he want to sell? He wants to sell a book. Now I'm going to talk about course tips on LinkedIn headshot. Now, the first thing is, what is a headshot? Normally, I see people putting headshots of full body picture, half body picture, or a headshot. A headshot typically should be just a head and shoulder, because when we see a half-inch screen, the picture of a person shows very, very small. So if you'll put a full body picture, it is not recognizable. If you put a half body picture, it still looks very small. So it has to be only head and shoulder. It should not be more than that. I would not say only head, because it will look like your head is floating out of nowhere. So it's a good idea to keep it head and shoulder. That's it. Now, how do you prepare for a good headshot? Before doing sessions, I normally do consultation with my clients, and we talk about a lot of things, and that basically helps me build a rapport with my client, and at the same time starts helping people prepare for a headshot. And a lot of different things come in between than just showing up for a picture, because a lot goes on which has to be perfected before getting a perfect headshot. Prepare for a headshot like an interview. Check what your clothes are, check what the accessories you're going to wear, select the clothes. We talk about all of it. It's very important. Why clothes are important? Because it still shows, and it shows the kind of professionalism you're showing, if you are what to wear. So I normally suggest people, it's the same, dress what you want to be, so that people can start seeing you that way. It's a way of manifesting. Or dress how you want to be, how you are seen already, so that it builds a trust among the viewers. If you have already been part of an organization and you want to put your best picture, then dress up for the picture in which you daily dress up. That way, people who are seeing you can relate to you, and they feel friendly. When you are meeting a stranger who has already seen your profile, the game changes. When they have seen your picture in the same similar style that you are currently dressed in, then they have already subconsciously built a trust in you, because they have seen you before, they have met you before. So dress what suits you, but it should be something which is in your regular life. Don't dress into something which you do not wear regularly, otherwise it will create confusion among audience, confusion among viewers, and they will feel betrayed. So that's my key for what to wear. Apart from that, I normally suggest people to wear something which is well fitted. If you wear too tight, then you will feel uncomfortable, and that will show in your. If you wear too loose, it will look baggy, and then I have to keep fixing the wrinkles, and again it will exhaust you, take time. So what our focus is to be prepared in such a way that everything falls perfect, and your entire attention is on portraying what you want to portray, which is your actual emotion, which is your authenticity. I also suggest people to not wear distracting color or any prints or pattern. Now, if you see these two images, these are mine. I specifically did that. Where does your attention goes in this image? Can anybody say? Dress, clothes. Yes, because there are so many colors. Colors are always distracting. There are so many colors. The dress overall looks pretty good. Everybody was, I have got compliments for this dress, that wow, your shirt looks very good. My idea is not to have attention on my shirt. For a headshot, the attention should be on the face, on the smile, because I want the picture to say something. I want to express through my photos. So if I'm writing a content and my image shows up with the content, then I want it to be perceived as if I am reading out the content to the viewers in their mind. So that is why the idea should be keep minimum color palette so that the attention goes on the subject, the eyes. When we make a conversation with people, we try to look into their eyes. We don't see anywhere else. An eye to eye conversation is the best conversation, where you feel that you're being heard and you feel that you're sincere. So yes, make sure that is taken care of. Am I going too fast, or is it okay? Deepti, is that okay? All right. Now coming on to some other parts, jewelries and accessories. Again, for women, it's very important. Again, the attention is, don't put so much accessories. The attention goes on the accessories. If you have short hair like I have right now, and similarly Shaboni, she's wearing a very subtle dark color which matches her color tone. You can also wear solitaire, which is simple accessories. If jewelries or necklace is part of your brand, go for it. Otherwise, keep it subtle so that it doesn't look distracting. Simple and easy formula, right? And glasses. I think glasses are very important because it shapes the face and people are used to see you in your glasses. So if glasses is part of your daily wear, I would strongly recommend to wear glasses in your pictures. There was a shoot that I was going through and a client was looking perfect. She had her makeup on and everything was good. But then I felt like something is missing. Once I took some pictures and we started reviewing, she put her glasses on. And I was like, where did this come from? And she said, I can't see without my glasses. And I said, that is what was missing in your pictures. Why didn't you put it before? So then she started putting glasses and then her face looks complete. Because when we wear glasses, our face forms a shape. And without glasses, it looked like something's missing and empty space is there. So, and also when people are used to see you in glasses, you don't have to hide that look just because you are doing it. It's not a modeling picture. It's a picture which portrays you, your authenticity, so that people can relate to you genuinely. That's my prompt. That's my thing. I can give you a tip about glasses. If you think that your glasses are not anti-glare and if you really want to prepare, okay, I have a question here. I'll address that in a second, just a second. So if you think that your glasses are not anti-glare and if you want to really prepare for the shoot, you can just take the glasses off and keep the frame so that there is no glare. So that's a pro tip for anybody who wear glasses and have issues in reflection, or if there's too much power, then the eyes looks too small. So you can play around that. Now coming to this question, it should also be very different from what we wear. Exactly. It should be different from what we wear. And we don't want to wear something different. We want to have the authentic look so that when people see us, they can relate to us. It's not about modeling picture. It's about letting people know who you are and the viewer can see you originality. So, well, I particularly pay attention to this, that the way I'm looking, I had a recently haircut. So I made sure that I got recent pictures so that people can relate to it. My previous picture, I still believe is better than the one. Sometimes you just get that perfect picture, and then if I keep taking my own self-portrait, sometimes it doesn't come like that. But still, a recent look is more important. That's what I believe. And then coming back to makeup. Now, when I talk to people, I somehow try to bring this in picture. A lot of people think that makeup is all about being someone else, because makeup will smoothen your skin, give a retouch, and try to make you something completely different. But the idea for me for makeup is more editorial. The idea is when the light falls on our face, then certain aspects of our face gets highlighted, especially when in India, our skin is pigmented, which is a very healthy skin, but it creates patches on our face, which in turn can create distraction. The idea of makeup is to hide those distractions which is created by the studio light and just conceal it in a very natural way so that the face looks less distracting. I have an example here in front of me. If you see this picture, again, I need some more participation from audience. Where does your eyes go in this image when you look at this picture? The first thing, to the eyes, eye circle, smile, okay, under eye, thank you Ashish, chin, because there are so many highlights on the face that eyes goes around the face. But if you make slight adjustment, she has done very subtle makeup and you see it's a game changer. Can you make out the difference? Super, yes. The glow is straight away in the eyes. No one can see anywhere else but just the eyes, because that is where the conversation is going to. Exactly, just the eyes. So that's what my motive is when we do the makeup, is to not change the look overall, but keep it subtle enough to highlight the eyes. Now the dark circle is completely gone. It's the same lighting, same day, everything is the same, but very subtle makeup. That's the idea. Now comes to grooming. This is especially this is for both of us, men and women. So for haircut, I strongly recommend go for a haircut at least a week before so that the hair settle down and it's not very pointy here and there. Because when we go for a haircut, salon people will set our hair very nicely, but when we wash our hair, it just goes here and there. So take a week to get it settled down. And then if you shave, clean shave on the day of this session. If you do not shave, then trim your beard in such a way that it looks refined and well groomed. For women, go for eyebrows, upper lips, and if you want to get a hair done, of course, can be done well. The haircut goes the same for men and women both, right? Moving on. Now, the tips are gone. I'm going to talk about personal branding outside LinkedIn. Apart from personal branding on LinkedIn, if you are into corporate role, the first and foremost thing where you appear is all the virtual platforms. Every single virtual platform you'll be there. You'll be on Workday, you'll be on Zoom meeting, and imagine if there are 300 people in your team and there's one person who has outstanding pictures, definitely that will stand out. That's one way of doing personal branding outside Zoom. And I mean, LinkedIn, you can still be inconsistent, but this is like very important. You are every day in front of clients, every day in front of colleagues, your peers, your subordinates. It just brings a different energy when you have a good headshot over there. Team meetings, sorry, not team meetings, a team group picture that brings, so I'm sure in this group there are some leaders also, and this is a hint for those leaders. If a particular organization is organized in such a way that all their employees have a good picture, it portrays a good image of the organization altogether. So it's not just personal branding but organizational branding as well. So one such team I did before, that was a leadership team of Omnivore, and when new teams keep adding up, and I do photos for them also, because they believe in that every team member should be portrayed well. This is an MNC, they have offices in India and outside India, so it's a good way of portraying yourself. Other than that, your website, you can put your picture as your personal brand over there too, a good introduction, and then you don't have to do just a headshot, you can go more than headshot. Add a little bit of element of body language and environment so that it shows that you are a friendly, approachable person. When we take just a headshot, then it just shows our eyes and smile. But when we add body elements, we add hands, we are leaning forward, or if you're putting your hands like that, it just shows that you're trying to engage, you're trying to be sincere, listen to them. So not just headshot, but more personal branding. This you have seen already. I think all of you have seen Facebook magazines. So I did some photos for magazines for some of my clients, which was published. I hope some of you will be published soon. One of them is already smiling. Okay. Vishal is a home name now. Okay, yes, of course. Very familiar face. What else do you think we're going to discuss about today? Magazine cover page. Who aspire to be on Forbes? Raise your hands. Me, yes. There you go. That's another way of personal branding. Then you become the brand, and the brand wants to put you in their magazine. Remember me whenever you are published in Forbes magazine. I created that vision. All right, okay. Now we have talked a lot about personal branding, but now I want to give you some more tips about what are the common mistakes I see when people do their personal branding. So common mistake. One big common mistake is take a passport photo and put that as a headshot. Easy. You don't. It's like the cheapest, fastest method. But do you really think that should be the perfect picture than this? No, I don't think so. How about a family photo? I look good in that. No way. That is not focused on you. That is not expressing yourself. It's just part of a family. Don't crop it. Go for a headshot. Here, I did some photo of Sanjay here. This was his previous picture and this was later. This looks like the person is hesitant, and he is a leader who does training across the globe. You cannot be portrayed like that. So after the session, so different. Thank you. Thank you, Chit. Now, I'm not going to tell the name of this guy. He's a very political person, I would say. So, but then again, see the kind of preparation he had. He was just wearing this suit with a check pants. Doesn't look good. You should be prepared. Everything should be polished and shows who you are and how you want to portray yourself. You don't want to look casual like that. You're not serious. You're not sincere. Then come posed and authentic. So why I put this here is when I commonly get people asking me that I want to put a picture where I'm folding my hands, but not everybody has the same body type. Someone's have long hands, someone has shorter hands, and not everyone can pull that. So I try to improvise in such a way that that particular pose suits your body type. Even if we have to cross hands, we can do it in a different way, which fits your body. In this case, you can see that this looks a little odd. This hand is coming out. Somehow the photographer was trying to make him pose. If he was turned at an angle, then probably these hands would have, not got so much attention. But in that case, on the contrary, if you see this looks very easygoing, very relaxed pose, which looks very natural. Even though he's a confident smile, but somehow this is like distracting altogether. My attention goes here rather than here. Another thing I get from client is, can I have a picture where I'm not looking into the camera because I am very camera shy? No, a big no. Any conversation is made looking into the eyes. You cannot have a picture where you're not looking into the eyes, because do I look friendly when I'm not looking into the camera? Of course not. You have to look into the camera. You have to look into the person's face so that you can make a conversation, make a connection. So it's very important. That some other common mistakes is people think banner is important. So let me not the LinkedIn banner blank. Let me put something. Now here what I see is the whole attention goes on this bulb. I don't know what does that bulb mean, but it is not serving the purpose of branding this person at all. If anybody knows him, please don't tell him that I have put this picture of him here, please. He's from Gurgaon only. Okay. Next one is too busy, too distracting. He is my client. Previous one was not, but he's my client. I'm going to tell him, but because the whole purpose of having a headshot is the attention goes to the, but in this case, the attention goes to here and then ripple effect over here. Yeah. So I would not recommend having a background like this where this is a distraction and you cannot even read what is written. Bridging the gap between conceptual knowledge. You have to really pay attention to read what is there in it. So a big mistake. Don't do it. Again, some people put, as I mentioned earlier, some people will put their half body picture. It's not recognizable. It's a very small screen. So if you want to put a picture in your headshot, it should be head and shoulder. Not, and it's okay if you want to put yourself in a style. Again, in banner, I would not recommend. Use these pictures in the post, but it's not a post, just a headshot. These are some common mistakes. Now I'm gonna take you through a very interesting video. This is one of my favorite videos, which shows why you should prepare for your headshot or why you should have a good headshot.
अरे वाह 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 गजब माय कसम बिल्कुल बरजाते फिल्म का हैप्पी फैमिली लग रहा है लेकिन क्या है ना कंपोजिशन ठीक बैठ नहीं रहा है ना बल्लू मौसा जी आप तनी लेफ्ट सर किया लेफ्ट नहीं बूझते हैं का बाया जौन हाथ से सगुन का लिफाफा नहीं देते ओ हाथ साइड हो साइड हो साइड हो तनी और तनी और तनी और साइड हो बस बढ़िया एकदम चकाचक
ए, कहाँ बढ़िया कहाँ चकाचक है पूरे शादी का मैनेजमेंट हम किए हैं हम ही को फुटवा से डिलीट कराइए
मौसा जी आप आउट ऑफ प्लेस लग रहे हैं फुटवा में आना है तो तैयार होकर आइए अभी है तैयार होकर आइए
There. So the idea for me for having this video was just to make the same make message clear. Yes, that if you're on LinkedIn, be prepared for it. Don't be in casual. Be sincere, be sensible, and be prepared. Awesome. Thank you, Ganesh. Mind blowing. Yes, these are small things that we need to be aware of. Yes, all things in one video. That's why I really like this video. Now I'm going to talk about some case studies. I've worked with a lot of clients in past 2-3 years, especially on LinkedIn, and I'm going to share some examples of some successful stories that would help you relate yourself with these people who have gone through a journey, have changed their headshots, have used these pictures on their personal branding on LinkedIn, and that has made a big change in their life, change in their LinkedIn profile and their growth. Maybe you can find a familiar face. So I'm going to share personal branding journey of a person. Here's where we started. 1,500 followers. About a year before, when or maybe like 9 months to a year before this journey started. And then we did a headshot session. Now, can you make the difference? See, so that's before and that's after. Yeah. This is how our journey started when I did my photo session with Vamsi. Vamsi said he had to take a picture. So he went to a photographer, got his photo done. And then we did something which changed the game. And then this is how Vamsi used these pictures, his personal branding pictures. He would use here and there. I was really impressed how he went through this journey and used these pictures in so many ways. Please don't call. Okay, and Anurag, I'm not going to call you. I've read your message before. See, another way of doing it. Again, I'm going to go back. So Vamsi has really done it very well, using these pictures in so many ways. And this is where he is right now, 11,000 followers. So we started at 1,500 and right now he is blessed with 11,000 followers. That's one of the case studies. So moving on, I have more case studies. You might find a familiar face again, not so soon. So another one is Anchal Srivastav. When Anchal met me, he had this picture as his profile pic, and we did his photo session, some personal branding, some headshot. And after 2-3 months, I met him again and I said, how are you doing? Do you think the headshots really helped you? And Anchal told me that when he had his LinkedIn profile earlier, he is an architect and he has his own company. But he said that when earlier he had his LinkedIn profile, he used to get promotional messages from different people because he mentioned that he's an entrepreneur. But once he changed his profile picture, he started getting job applications. So people can identify he is the person who is the major decision maker. That was the huge difference that he noticed in his profile after just changing the in a couple of months. Another example is Asifa. Asifa was a lawyer. Is a lawyer. She was in Indian court, but then she moved to Canada and she wanted a picture which complements her look and blends in that culture where she's going. So that's the case study. Her major requirement was to blend in the new environment, and that's where this picture played a good role for her. Another familiar face now you can recognize. So this was Vishal's picture when I first saw, when we first had a conversation, and I'm gonna tell you the secret. When I was talking to Vishal, I said, Vishal, this is not a good picture. I just said it front. I said, here you look look like you're holding the chair as if you're not confident. Even though you are a different person, this picture does not portray who you are. Vishal is one person who's like full of energy with so many ideas, keep motivating. Every time I talk to Vishal, I is like, why do you think I am capable of this? And he'll say 10 things about me that boosts my confidence. So he's that kind of person, which is definitely not portrayed here. So then we did a photo session. Then it's all history. You have seen his pictures all over. And these are some of the shots that we did of Vishal. So yeah. Another one is Paritosh. He's a financial head, and he dropped off from his job to take a break, and then he wanted a headshot to bring back himself into the market. So this picture definitely looks a nice smiling picture, but we want someone who is a person who can take charge, so a friendly, approachable, but someone who can be trusted, can take charge, and it's still approachable. That was the main motive of this image for Paritosh. Another example is Anurag. So yeah, he had this picture of him, and then we did a event in Goa, retreat, where I did photos of Anurag. Hairstyle. Oh yes. No, a lot of things changed. I think Anurag still had this style. The thing that changed is he mentioned that when he used to have this picture, people used to really like it. That, oh, you look very good. But then it was not his real skin color. His face texture was different. It somehow looks betrayal to me. But when this picture comes, you can relate to it. If you meet him in person, he's one person who's always friendly. The smile is always genuine. He will make a lot of conversation, give a lot of tips and ideas. So this looks like a person I know as Anurag, not this one for sure. What else do we have? So second pick was very natural. Thank you, Chitra. Thank you. So I'll address some of the questions that I already get from people when I'm doing consultation with them, and then I'll open the floor for more questions. So first frequently asked question is, I don't like my photos, but I do need pictures for personal branding. How can you help me? So people don't like their picture. They don't like to be in front of the camera, but they still want the picture taken. So I would say this was like a writing from a famous author, and it says, never ceases to amaze. We all love ourselves, but then we care about others' opinions. So the main idea is to accept ourselves. We have to accept who we are. We have to accept how we look. We have to accept whether we are fat or we are skinny. We have to accept that we have a scar. I recently posted on LinkedIn about a story about scar, where I had my scars, and when I used to do photo shoot, a client came to me and she said, I have a scar on my face. I don't want to get my photos taken. And then I told her that you have to accept who you are. I accepted who I am because it's part of me now and it cannot change. So whether love it or hate it, so it's better accept who you are, and that then life makes very easy. I have put this picture of Samatha here. I've done photo sessions of her. She sent me a picture when we were discussing her photo session. In the first picture is when she was very fit. She lost a lot of weight and she wanted to do a photo session with like Hollywood actor. Definitely she's looking gorgeous over there. And then she had her headshot portrait done with some other photographer, and she said, I gained weight, but I still like this picture. And then I still did a picture of her last time when I was in Bangalore, and she loved these pictures too. Samatha is one person whom I know has always accepted herself the way she is and happy with every single photo she had. I had to dissuade her that, Samatha, you don't need so many pictures, just get as many. So it starts with acceptance. You have to start accepting who you are and love yourself. That's also important. I'm here to bring your natural self. No one looks ugly. We only find those people ugly whom we don't like, and we don't like because we don't like their nature, not because they are not beautiful. So be beautiful and show that you're beautiful. That's all what you have to do. You don't have to look anybody else. That's my pitch for today. Pep talk. Again, next question is, I don't like being in front of the camera. How do I face the camera? And for that, I'm here. I usually help my clients face the camera by preparing. So we do dress rehearsals. Whatever you want to wear, we'll discuss what we should wear. And then we'll do dress rehearsals every time, every picture, every outfit that you're going to wear, we practice it. We wear it, see how we are looking. That gives us a basic idea of how we look, how we are carrying ourselves. And our mind is already set. So when we are doing the photo session, you're not worried about whether the picture is looking good or not in that outfit, because we already know they look good. Stay hydrated. That's what I say. If you keep your water level at par, then you feel relaxed, then you don't feel irritated, and that also helps. Sleep well. If you are sleeping well, then there's no puffed eyes around, and then there's no dark circle. That keeps you a natural skin and you feel happy and elated. Sometimes clients call me at 2 a.m. They said, Vasundhara, this is what I'm going to wear. I said, don't do that, just go and sleep. So that doesn't help. So it's always a good idea to get good sleep. Take a walk before, if you're nervous. I normally suggest them to take a walk, regulate your body blood circulation, and you'll you'll feel better. And listen to music. If you're coming to a studio, then just listen to the music on the way. I'll play the music in the studio also, or whosoever you're going to have your photograph taken with. A good idea to play like music, any music that you like, and then everything will be all set. Facing the camera would not be that difficult, and the rest is upon the photographer, how they can bring the natural expression, how they can do. Attitude is everything. Thank you. Who said that, Ganesh? Thank you. Sorry, I got distracted with that comment. Now, how do I edit photos? I always get people asking, can you make me look younger? Can you make me look thinner? I generally avoid doing that. Again, authenticity is important. I try to make sure that the picture that is coming straight out of the camera is a good picture. The expression is good, the lighting is good. Of course, there need to be some retouching because camera will capture a lot of imperfections, which does not need to show as a distraction. Features should look natural, but it should not distract the viewer from looking into your eyes or make that conversation. So this is what I do. This is a picture that I did of myself. These both are this is straight out of the camera. The only thing I fixed was a little bit of hair here and there, some temporary pimple marks, a little bit of wrinkle here, and that's it. I think this is good enough. Yeah. So I try to make sure that the pictures that we bring is good straight out of the camera. That's what I believe authenticity from. I have a question. I mean, this is a very generic question. Do you think I can use this picture as my LinkedIn profile? A vote would be, because I've been thinking of using a personal picture, but this looks a little casual in a kurta. But do you think as an artist, I can still be, no? It's good, but no. Okay. Okay. Some more better. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I look younger because my hair is different right now. And I think Skype has a feature where they smoothen out the skin. Thank you. I'll have a picture in the current out. Thank you. That's why I thought whether I should do it or not. Now I've got the votes. Yes. Thank you. Now I had a question where how often we should get your photos done. I have mentioned that in earlier also, depending on how and often you're going to use those pictures. So say talking about LinkedIn, if you are very consistent on LinkedIn and posting every single day, then I think for your brand building, picture once a week should be good. You don't have to put all the professional picture. You can combine it with some mobile photos where your environment picture is there, some picture with your family is there. Then yes, for getting your photos done, depending on what your requirement is. Some clients come to me every 6 months, some come to me every quarter. And I try to make sure that if you're getting your picture done at regular interval, you get something different. I'll show you an example. I did photo shoot for Arya in 2022 and then 23. There's not much difference in his smile, but the color palette is different. The angle is different. And again, another thing is that if you will take too many pictures in one point of time, it will not show the growth that you have gained in over the period of time. If you say Vamsi, he started at a journey of 1500. From 1500 to 11,000, the amount of content he has written has turned him into a different person altogether, because we learn from our responses how our posts are performing, how our pictures are being viewed, and then based on that you can go for more frequently having your photos taken. So go for less number of pictures initially and then start seeing the result and then keep adding more pictures eventually. Also, when clients come for the first time for a photo session, we are not models that we are coming in front of the camera every day, and mobile picture is not a picture. Mobile is made to make you look flattering, because that is what we want to see. That is not an original picture. The lens in mobile is a wide angle lens, which makes your face look skinnier and your skin soft, because the camera softwares are like that. So I would say take pictures at a regular interval, but give it time to see the response, and then show your growth with the picture. Also, what you're wearing your outfit. So say if you start with only shirts, you are going to be in a leadership role, and right now most of the IT companies have these casual shirt outfits, but you want to become a CEO or you want to become into directorship, you cannot wear the same outfit. So eventually, when you start growing in your role and you start portraying on LinkedIn, say in 6 months, you can start wearing suits in your outfit. And how the response is measured is you can see the views, you can see engagement in your posts. That will help you understand the response. You will see the growth in yourself. I started writing 3 years ago and I had no idea what to write, but now I can think through on the spot, and like in half an hour I'm able to write a content that tells a story about myself, and I have become more confident on writing on LinkedIn. So has become my posts also, and that's how I would like to change my persona. So that's what I suggest people, that eventually you should start changing your outfit. Try to dress yourself in such a way as a director, and that is the journey that you want to show on your LinkedIn also. You cannot instantly change your profile within a suit and then continue to wear the suit so that you can portray that. So that's the journey I'm going to talk about, is how often you take a picture. You can go for 6 months, you can go for 1 year, depending on how frequently you are using them on LinkedIn, if that makes sense. Now I'm going to conclude my session. Wait. There was a music I had to play with some more pictures that I've taken over the time, and then I'll open the floor for questions. So music on. That's it. And if you want to contact me, here are my contact details. But yeah, thank you.